Hey everybody, I hope everyone's having a great afternoon. Today we are going to be making some super delicious keto herbed biscuits. This is from the SlimFast website. It is also in the SlimFast app, so you're going to want to check that out. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in here today so that we have time to try to get through the process in a timely manner. Hey Trinity, thanks so much for joining us. I'm so glad you're here with me. So to get started, I've preheated the oven to 450 degrees. And then in a large bowl, basically we're going to start with all of our dry ingredients. Hey Debbie, thanks for tuning in. So I've already pre-measured out all of our ingredients. So this is a half cup of coconut flour. We're going to go ahead and put that right into our bowl here. And I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. And then we also have 2 tablespoons of almond flour. Hey Marie, hey Alyssa, Joanne, thank you guys so much for joining me. And Jennifer, I was telling everyone that I'm kind of jumping right in here so that we have time to get through the whole process in a timely manner. So, thank you. This is my lovely Pioneer Woman apron. It's one of my favorites. So I've already got started here with our dry ingredients. We have a half cup of coconut flour, 2 tablespoons of almond flour. We have 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar, and everything's been pre-measured out here, so we're going to go ahead and drop that in there. And then we have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. All right, these are our dry ingredients. Make sure we got everything. Oh, and the salt. We're going to do 3/4 teaspoons of salt, which is right here. All right, and then I'm just going to use my little whisk here, and we're going to whisk the ingredients together so that they're well incorporated. You want to make sure all of those flavors are in all of the ingredients here, all mixed in well together. I don't know if you guys, I think, hey Jessica, I know someone said they had already made these. It might have been Jennifer, I think, or Jessica, but I was super impressed. Hi, Mama. My mommy's watching, you guys. I'm excited. So I've got all of our dry ingredients here mixed together. Then we are going to, we're going to go ahead. This was the part that was kind of hard for me is, so we have a stick of butter here that's been cubed. And we're just going to add this in here and try to incorporate it until you get like a crumbly mixture. I will say mine didn't seem crumbly at all. It almost made just like a dough that I kind of rubbed and tore apart a little bit. Hi, sister. My sister Amanda's watching, you guys. So I did start off with a fork, trying to just kind of press the butter because you want to use cold. I think probably the colder it is, the more crumbly it'll get. Jennifer says it was her. She made them. Thanksgiving, her first year on SlimFast Keto. Well, I know they were a success because I joked earlier because I had one with my lunch, and I seriously am like, okay, let me make a list of people I can take these to, because guess what? I don't think I can keep them in the house because it's hard to stop at just one. For me anyway. I thought they were really delicious. Super buttery, full of flavor. They are, to me, they're similar to like the not Olive Garden, the Red Lobster ones, but without like cheese or garlic. So if you added that in, you definitely have probably a pretty spot on copycat. So anyway, I struggle here with getting this butter in. So I just dive in with my fingers and kind of try to incorporate it all together. This was the most time consuming part for me, is trying to get this butter to kind of crumble and mix into the dry ingredients, but it's worth it. And when I added my wet ingredients, I was looking at it and I'm going, this is not working. This is not working. Hi Rose, no, you haven't missed much at all. We just got our dry ingredients into the bowl, and I'm kind of trying to incorporate these cubes of butter right now. Yes, Jennifer agrees that they do taste a lot like Red Lobster. So if you guys have been missing those, this is your fix, I promise. So when I was making it the first time, I thought, that my mixture looked too watery and that it was just definitely not going to work. It wasn't going to set. But you do let it sit for about 5 minutes as you line your pan usually. And it was like magic. When I came back in 5 minutes, it was this nice doughy batter that I was able to spoon out and put into my pan. Aw. Well, Caleb just made my day. Caleb says I look pretty. That was nice, Caleb. Thank you. You're such a gentleman. I will say another thing I didn't realize, that they made mini muffin tins. I don't have one, so or mini like loaf pans, little mini loaves. So I used the muffin pan and it seems to work just fine. So see how I kind of have this lump of dough? I just try to kind of crumble it apart. This was the most time consuming part, you guys. It's not hard, it's just a little time consuming. So yeah, let me grab a dish towel. I should have done that. Okay, so now that we've got that all crumbled up, we're gonna take and put our, we have a 1/4 cup, I believe, a 1/4 cup of fresh green chopped onions and a 1/4 cup of parsley as well. And this has all been chopped. And this is also the first time I've ever used fresh parsley. And I love it. I was super impressed. So we get that all incorporated. So I don't know, again, if you guys can always see what I'm doing here, but so this is what our mixture is looking like right now. And then we're gonna go ahead and crack open our 5 eggs. And we're gonna just whisk them together. Now, when you're reading the recipe on the website or in the app, wherever you're looking at it, it just says milk. For me, milk means almond milk, unsweetened almond milk. So that's what I used and it worked perfectly. Ah, Jennifer says she put hers in a large cast iron skillet to bake them. So that's smart. So you just kind of spooned them out in kind of balls, I'm assuming, and then let them bake that way, which is another super smart idea. Or I guess you could still put them in like cupcake wrappers in a cast iron skillet as well. That's a good idea. Plus, again, stove to counter. It's so convenient. I love it. All right, so we've got our 5 eggs. We're just gonna whisk, whisk, whisk. Get them all broken down the way they need to be. I've had so much fun with this recipe, and talking about bread all week has been even more fun. You guys get so excited and it gets me excited. I love it. All right, so we've got our eggs all nice and whisked together. All right, then we're also going to add in, this is a 1/2 cup of unsweetened almond milk into our egg mixture. And we're gonna whisk a little bit more so that it's all incorporated well together. All right, now we're just gonna pour this right over the top of our dough that we've already prepared here. So we're gonna pour the wet ingredients right on top. Easy peasy. And then I just used a fork to try to kind of incorporate it all together. And this is where I looked at it and I was like, this is a running hot mess. This is not dough. It's not even batter. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's deceiving, I promise. It works. Oh, good job, Marie. Marie says she has coconut milk, so she's gonna try it with that. That sounds tasty too. I would love to hear how it turns out. I personally have never used like coconut milk for shakes or anything. I have used like the coconut cream milk that comes in a can for baking, but I've never used just regular coconut milk. So I'm super curious to hear how that turns out for you. But now it means you have to try it because we all want to know. No pressure. So, all right, you guys, I really just kind of mushed and mushed with my fork because the butter tends to try to hold its shape. It doesn't want to give in. It doesn't want to mix with the other cold ingredients, which makes sense. And that's why it looks a little awkward and like it's not going to work. But if you just give it a little bit, It will surprise you, I promise. And because there is an entire stick of butter in here, these biscuits are so buttery good. Oh, they're really, really good, you guys. And I hope that you'll try them and share them with your family. I sent a picture to my husband just to tease him a little bit because I know he's gonna be excited to come home and try them. Ah, Marie says she's trying it tonight. Yay, I'm excited. Okay, so this is what my batter looks like right now. I'm gonna set it to the side. It's kind of runny. In the meantime, if you have a mini loaf pan, go ahead and use that. I didn't know how it would work if I used like a regular small loaf pan and did one loaf and cut it into slices. I didn't want to try that for my first time, but I may try it in the future. It's funny, Marie, because I thought the same thing. I totally forgot about getting the fresh ingredients. So I actually did run out to the store to grab them, but that was the first thing that came into my mind, was using the dry ingredients. So again, I'm super excited to hear how your version turns out, because I think it's gonna be spot on. Hey Hazley, thanks for joining us. We are making the keto herbed biscuits today, and we were talking about how buttery and delicious they are. So in the meantime, while your batter sets a little bit, you would normally just go ahead and line your pan, or if you don't want to use liners and you want to butter it, spray it, whatever it is that you need to do to prepare. We're not all going to do it exactly the same, but I think we're all going to get the same outcome, so that's awesome. I'm going to give that a few more minutes while we sit here and chat. Hazley says yum. Yes. I had one with my lunch today, and let me just say, chicken and broccoli is really, really low in calories and low in carbs, you guys. So this little biscuit fit right into my lunch day without even pushing. I don't even think it pushed over 500 calories. So it was an amazingly delicious and filling lunch, and no guilt, and I was super satisfied. So just like we were talking about yesterday, if you're missing out on bread, you feel like you can't have it, it's something that's forbidden with keto, it's so not true. They're so good. And you can have so many different kinds of bread, but this one was a new one for me, and I was excited to try it. So yep, our batter's starting to settle in a little bit. It may take a little bit longer. Also, as far as the baking time, I added about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to it. I felt like at the 12-minute mark, they were still kind of really a little too moist in the center for me. So again, it's to your liking. It's whatever works for you. Hazley says so many options, and I completely agree. The options are endless. They are completely customizable, as we've already seen just talking here with Marie. I'm gonna change up a few things when she makes hers tonight, so I'm excited to see that. So let me go ahead and fill you guys in while we're waiting on the batter to set. This particular biscuit is supposed to be 8 servings. Now, again, because I'm using a muffin pan, the servings are a little bit smaller, so I actually get 12 out of this. So that changes the net carbs slightly to a little bit less. But in general, this particular recipe is 200 calories and 4 net carbs for one of these mini loaves. And looking at the size compared to this, I'm thinking a mini loaf you could probably split. You may not want to, and that's okay too, but you could probably split it and be just as satisfied and have half the calories and half the carbs, which is a winner for me. So the way I've worked it out with having the 12 muffin tins is it's like 147 calories and about 3.5 net carbs. So not too shabby, I think. Hazley says all we have to do is get creative, and it's so true, and it's fun. Like it makes me think of Alyssa, because she does a lot of the pantry stuff. So you're kind of like, I'm not sure what I want, but I want to kind of go in this direction, and you just kind of pull from your pantry, your fridge, whatever, and you just kind of mush it all together. And you guys, we've come up with some amazingly delicious treats, that's for sure. And I love, love, love that everyone is sharing it So we all get to benefit from those delicious recipes. All right, you guys, I think we're all ready here. So I just used a medium like dough scooper here to fill my little muffin, I don't even know, liners here. So they're nice little full. It's hard to get them exact, but you know, we just fill them all up. And the thing is, it doesn't take that long to prepare everything, and it only takes 12 to 14 minutes in the oven, and these are done. And I will also say that when these come out of the oven hot, that's when they're the best. They're amazing. Yes, Jennifer says whatever fits your macros for the day, and that is so true, because I feel like you can honestly fit in just about anything if you plan ahead a little bit, you know, put a little thought into it, you know, at the beginning of the day or even the day before, and just kind of say, okay, this is kind of what I'm wanting to do tomorrow. How do I make that happen? And in general, I feel like most of the time you're going to be able to get exactly what you want out of it. That determines for me how much I will have of something exactly. So if it's going to push me over, I may, and I really want it, I may cut it in half, you know, if that fits into my macros. The big thing for me is portion size. So remembering that, first off, this is something I have had to learn, is this is not the last time I will ever have this biscuit. I can make them anytime I want, so I don't have to eat them all as if I'll never have another. That's a little mind game I play with myself, but it works for me as far as portion control goes, because sometimes when things are really good, I get a little excited and it's easy to get carried away. I don't know about you guys, but that's how it works for me. So yeah, planning ahead makes a big difference, and knowing that, you know, this isn't the end all in biscuits. You know, we will have other treats and we will have other breads to try and other yummy recipes. So if that, it works for me, I hope that it might help you guys out too. So this is what they look like before they go into the oven. So I'm gonna go ahead, the oven is already preheated to 450 degrees. It's nice and toasty. I'm gonna go ahead and pop them in, and then I'm gonna show you guys the finished product. I'm gonna set my timer for, I think I'm gonna do 14 minutes this time, just to get them a little more crispy and see how that goes. Timer. I'm sorry that I'm out of frame. I'm not really sure how to set all this up yet. But let me share with you guys. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. It definitely helps with the portion control for me. This is what they look like. I was kind of sad that they're in like a muffin shape, but you know what? They taste exactly the same, so it doesn't matter. But I've now added a mini loaf pan to my list of things that I want. So the list keeps growing. Every time I'm on here with you guys, the list gets longer. But so, you know, cupcake size, muffin size, this is perfect to pair with your lunch or your dinner or however you want to do it. So buttery, lots of flavor, and like I mentioned earlier, you could totally change it up a little bit. You can add cheeses, you could add garlic. I know that like Alyssa likes to add rosemary to her 90-second keto bread, so that would be another great addition to these. So if you guys haven't tried them, this is highly recommended that you guys give it a try. And if you do, as always, I want to see it. I want to hear about it. I want to know what you think about it. If you've made alterations, first off, make sure that if you make any changes that you make those changes in your tracking app as well, because it's going to change the outcome of the macros a little bit. But I want to see it, and I want you to share it with everybody so that we can all enjoy it too. So that's it for you today, you guys. I hope that you love this recipe as much as I did. If you guys make it, share it with me, and then I just hope that you all have a great afternoon, and I hope you had a good time. And I just want you all to keep smiling, keep being creative, sharing those recipes, stay healthy out there, and remember that we are stronger together. I love you guys so much. Bye.